Okay, so today it's a little awkward with the topic of today, because today's topic is why you should be very cautious before you follow along to a guided breathwork session. Your breathing, even the breathing you're doing right now, this very second, is influencing your autonomic nervous system. Now, your autonomic nervous system is in control of around 70% of your body's functions, including your heart rate, your blood pressure, your adrenaline levels, your cortisol levels, your sexual function, basically your ability to have sex, okay? Your digestion is influenced, your blood sugar is influenced. There's a lot of things that you may not just want to hand over control to that to some stranger on the internet, especially someone who doesn't know what they're doing. And this is something I've seen, and actually I've had a lot of people reach out to me about this. They'll do some guided breathing session, and at first it feels great. They're like, man, I found the best breathing session ever. It's on YouTube, it's awesome, it's this great thing. Even though they're getting incredibly high whenever they're doing these guided breathing sessions, that, man, they feel anxious, and so they feel like they need to do the breathing session more. I also get this especially with people who have bad reactions to Wim Hof method breathing. But I think there's a lot of people who are very enthusiastic and very excited, and they want to share it, and so they're like, hey, guess what? I can produce things and share them. Or, hey, guess what? You know, I've been to a workshop of this or that kind of breath work. I'm going to just start doing it myself. I'm going to guide people through. Don't get me wrong. If you're one of these people, please don't take this the wrong way, because I'm excited about breathwork. I'm excited that you're excited about breathwork. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I wake up every morning and I can't believe it's a real thing. It's a wonderful thing. What happens is they'll guide somebody through a session. The person will feel really good during the session and maybe even feel very relaxed afterwards, but the person doesn't realize they're walking out of there and they're in a state of fight or flight. And it can have effects on them throughout their daily life, and they don't understand why. And they're feeling more anxious by doing these breathing techniques that they hear, hey, I've heard that breath work is good. I heard that specifically this kind of breath work or that technique, I've heard it's really good for stress. But for some reason, I'm feeling more anxious every time I do it, or I feel more anxious even though I'm doing it. A lot of times people don't make the connection between, hey, the fact that I'm doing this guided breathwork session and I'm starting to feel more anxiety throughout my day. Now, when I do a guided breathing session, just like every other breathworker who knows what they're doing, I'm writing a breathwork session and I'm putting techniques together with the intent that, okay, the vast majority of people, when they do this, are going to have this result. The vast majority of people, when they do this, they're going to have this result. And then when you combine these two, they're going to have this result, which will make this next session. Here's the thing. If you learn actually how your physiology works, and you learn how breath work and your physiology can work together, you can create a breathing session that's better than anything I can create for you. Because your physiology is unique. And that's what I do in the 6-week breath mastery course. You can take a look at the links below for that. Essentially, what I do is I teach you how to measure, okay, what exactly is happening in your physiology when you do this kind of inhale or exhale, or when you do this kind of hold, or whenever you hold it for this long, or whenever you breathe this far deep, or whenever you just breathe up here. We test all these things, and then I teach you how to put together your own techniques, your own sessions. And by the time you're done, you can create a better breathwork session than I could ever create for you, because you know yourself better than anybody else can, because you'll understand how to listen and how to measure your own responses. You should make sure that whoever is guiding you through this is someone who's reputable. For instance, if you were to go to I wrote a book, okay? You can look at my book, you can check the sources that I use, you can check what I have to say in my book. That's all the principles, you know, the vast majority at least of the principles that I use are in my book. So you can say, okay, this guy's a jackass. Or you can say, okay, this guy seems to be someone who I can trust. You need to do your research on whoever you're letting into your autonomic nervous system, because that's exactly what you're doing if you do a guided breathwork session. You're giving someone control of your autonomic nervous system. Again, this breath that you're taking right now is influencing your autonomic nervous system. Guys, I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's given you a little bit of food for thought. Really, think about this. Your autonomic nervous system, that's you. That's you. And who you give control to your autonomic nervous system, you gotta be selective about that. You gotta be careful. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another.